Bienvenidos a Noticias Ocultas X. En el día de hoy vamos a ver el caso de un oficial del Departamento de Policías de Puerto Seattle, Estados Unidos, el cual fue suspendido de su cargo por hacer un video viral en Instagram con casi 900.000 vistas, mientras se encontraba en la patrulla policial y con su uniforme de policía, en el cual habló acerca de la violación de los derechos humanos realizado por el excesivo control que ejercen las Fuerzas Armadas sobre la libertad de las personas durante esta cuarentena, apuntando a esta situación como una especie de poder autoritario consentido por las Fuerzas Armadas que llevan a cabo por órdenes de los gobiernos. Él intenta despertar a sus colegas para que defiendan a la libertad del pueblo. Además, asegura que esto podría desembocar en guerras civiles entre los ciudadanos y los policías, ya que los políticos no se verían afectados en esto. Antes de dar mi opinión, pasemos a ver el video.
You know, as a police officer, I'm compelled to make this video. I've been in law enforcement for 10 years, and I'm speaking to my peers, other fellow officers, people in any kind of law enforcement position. I've seen officers nationwide enforcing tyrannical orders against the people, and I'm hoping it's the minority of officers, but I'm not sure anymore, because every time I turn on the television, every time I look to the internet, I'm seeing people arrested or cited for going to church, for traveling on the roadways, for going surfing, opening their businesses, going to the park with their families, or doing nails out of their own house, using their own house as a place of business, and having undercover agents go there and arrest them and charge them with what? With a crime? I don't know what crime people are committing by doing nails in their own house, but we're seeing this more and more and more, and we need to start looking at ourselves as officers and thinking, is what I'm doing right? Now, I want to remind you that regardless of where you stand on the coronavirus, we don't have the authority to do those things to people just because a mayor or a governor tells you otherwise. I don't care if it's your sergeant or your chief of police. We don't get to violate people's constitutional rights because somebody in our chain of command tells us otherwise. It's not how this country works. Those are de facto arrests. You know, we're violating people's rights and taking money from them, or even worse, arresting them and depriving them of their freedom when they are exercising their constitutional rights. Let's read something right here off of the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal. We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their power from the consent of the governed, meaning our power and any government official's power is derived from the people. Okay? We don't hold power over our citizens. It's contradictory to everything that our country stands for. And this is what I'm seeing. First Amendment rights, telling people they can't go to church, freedom of religion. Okay? Telling people they can't protest, freedom of assembly. Fourth Amendment violations, illegal traffic stops to check for papers. What are you, the Gestapo? Is this 1930s Nazi Germany? You don't get to stop people unless you have reasonable suspicion or probable cause that they have committed a crime. And I know people that have personally been stopped saying, we want to see papers showing that you're essential.
David 2, copy a phone call.
That is not how our job works, okay? What really has been pissing me off lately is the fact that these officers that are going out here and enforcing these tyrannical orders, what they're doing is they're putting my job and my safety at risk. Because what you're doing is you're widening the gap between public trust and law enforcement officers. And the thing that I want you guys to realize is that our power that we hold as law enforcement officers, it's nothing more than a facade. It's a badge and a gun. You don't realize, if you haven't lived in anarchy, if you haven't seen combat, things can be stripped from people in a heartbeat. And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that these actions are going to wake a sleeping giant, i.e. the American people, okay? They are going to be put in a position where they won't have their rights trampled anymore. And us as law enforcement officers, we'll have our ability to enforce the law stripped from us in about 10 minutes, okay? I think what is going to happen if this continues is we're going to see bloodshed in the streets, okay? I don't want to see bloodshed in the streets on either side of this coin. I don't want to see fellow officers get injured or killed, and I certainly don't want to see citizens get injured or killed. And I promise you, most of you out there doing these tyrannical acts against our citizens, you're not ready for combat. You're not mentally or physically ready for combat in the first place. I promise you, you don't want to go through that, and I hope I never have to go through that again. You know, you don't get to just say, well, I'm doing this because I was told to do so, or I'm following orders, or I need to keep this job. Guess what? I need to keep this job more than anybody. I have 3 young children. I have 2 houses. Like, I have the same sob story that the rest of you guys have. But my personal choices and my living arrangements, no matter what they are, don't allow me to trample on people's rights. Listen, you need to stand up for what's right. You need to, if you're part of a department or an agency that is asking people or asking their officers or their deputies to impose on people's rights and infringe on their freedoms, you need to step up and say, no, that's not me. That's not what I signed up for, and that's going against my oath. And if that costs you your job, so be it. At least you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror at night. I've already expressed this to my department. As a special operations veteran, I've fought on the streets of Iraq under the U.S. government's guise of freedom. And I'm telling you what, the American people are going to you are going to wake a sleeping giant. And they are going to fight 10 times harder for their freedom on their soil than anything you've ever seen before. And if that's something you're willing to face, then keep trampling on people's rights. But I promise you, the American spirit of defiance is going to rise again, and it's going to be a big problem for our country. So I'll leave you with this, something that I learned as an E-nothing in the Army. No matter what situation you're put in, if you look inside yourself and ask yourself one question, am I doing the right thing? You ask yourself that, you know the answer. And no amount of money or no order or law or anything should be able to make you go against doing the right thing. So I'm imploring officers to look inside themselves and ask themselves, is this what I want to be doing to my citizens? And I think the answer is clear. And if we all stand up together, guess what? It'll be a non-issue, no factor, because people and law enforcement will be united like we should be. It'll be a non-issue, no factor, because people and law enforcement will be united like we should be.
Bueno, sus declaraciones fueron apoyadas por ciudadanos y policías de todo el mundo. Y en lo que respecta a mi opinión, es algo que vengo diciendo hace varios videos. Esto es lo que la élite quiere. Inducir una crisis económica y social en la cual la gente va a salir a reclamar por poder trabajar y por sus libertades. Acá pareciera que los gobiernos se olvidan de las personas de la clase baja y media, de los cuales muchos viven del día a día, del pago semanal, donde también se ven perjudicadas las pequeñas y medianas empresas. Pero no es que se olvidan o no se dan cuenta. No podemos ser tan ingenuos de pensar así. Esto es agrede y no tenemos que caer en su juego. Las Fuerzas Armadas tienen que entender que estamos del mismo lado y que las medidas y los políticos a los que ellos defienden no les importamos en absoluto. Si es necesario, ellos mandan al muere a la policía, no les interesa. Y si esto sigue así, la situación se va a agravar, y ojalá que no, pero esto puede terminar en protestas, en saqueos y en un descontrol social debido al aumento de la pobreza, de la hambruna que estas medidas están produciendo. ¿Y ahí quiénes se van a enfrentar? Claro, la policía contra los ciudadanos, contra el pueblo, mientras los de arriba miran riéndose. ¿No se dan cuenta de eso? ¿En qué momento las Fuerzas Armadas cambiaron su tarea de proteger al pueblo, su libertad y su bienestar, para proteger a unos ricachones que no les interesan en absoluto? Recordemos que estamos todos del mismo lado y que tenemos que protegernos entre nosotros, no enfrentarnos. Dense cuenta de que esto está mal. Si no se oponen, son parte, son cómplices. Cómplices del aumento de pobreza, del aumento de hambruna, de toda esta crisis social que se va a producir. Y repito, ojalá que no, pero hay que tener un poco de lógica para darse cuenta en qué va a desembocar esto si sigue así. Y acá todos salimos perjudicados, porque los oficiales de las Fuerzas Armadas son padres, madres, hijos, hermanos, parejas. Dense cuenta, por favor se los pido. Acá salimos todos perdiendo, excepto los de arriba que nos mandan a matar entre nosotros. Concluyo mi opinión acá y creo que quedó muy claro que es lo que pienso, que va de la mano junto a lo que piensa el oficial Greg Anderson. Doy mi apoyo total a sus declaraciones. Despertemos de una vez. Si te gustó no olvides darle a me gusta, suscribirte y compartir para que esta información pueda llegar a más personas. Es totalmente gratis y además así demostrás tu apoyo al canal contra la adversidad. Mi nombre es Martín Vázquez y esto fue Noticias Ocultas X.
Tú que vives en una bola, las demás rotando a 1600 por hora. Tú que ya no crees en lo que ves, desde que la ciencia necesitó tu fe. A ti que te quitaron a tu Dios y sin darte cuenta ahora adoras al sol y al dinero. Seguiremos buscando la curva y nunca la encontraremos porque no la hubo nunca.